so that we get what Joe is suggesting, it's a good idea to control, uncontrolled release basically on the top of the spillway, which is going to be a large discharge, so we can, I can work on that.
If you give me the standards, I'll put it in an ordinance.
At the mention of 100-year storms, personally, I look askance at statements like, and I think I heard a statement like this tonight.
You did?
A 100-year storm, which is not very likely.
Really?
Did Joe
Actually, with global warming here, it is here, drought is more likely. And also, 100-year storms are more likely. We're going to see more and more wild weather. And well, just given the situation in, further north, we saw 3 50-year storms in 21 months.
A few years back, we had, what, 200-year storms in about a week?
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if you guys were going to react to that up here. I heard it in the back of the room.
And, earlier this year, in April, we had a 4-inch rain event that panned out more like Hurricane Floyd. I mean, 10 years ago, roughly 10 years ago, when Hurricane Floyd happened, we had 8 inches of rain in perhaps a half a day. The 4-inch rain event of mid-April, thereabouts.
Our nor'easters have that potential every year. So, it's not rare.
Anyone else from the board have any? At this time, I'd like to open up to the public. If anybody has any comments or concerns to bring before the board, please step forward, state your name. Come on up here, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Jim Crawford. I am Vice President of Heritage Building Group, the designated redeveloper for Kearns Point. And I just wanted to have just a few threshold comments with regard to the commercial ordinance. First, we just wanted to say that we wanted to applaud Amy's efforts, especially in light of the fact that that was in fact the first time you've ever drafted something like that. We've taken a look at that, and kind enough to forward a copy to us. We're completing our internal review as well. We initially had one of our informal meetings scheduled for last week, which got postponed due to some availability issues for some of the participants. But what we would like to do is have our people get together with Joan, with Dave, and anybody else who is an interested party in this from the board, from the township committee, so that we can talk about this. I'd like to have the president of our commercial division involved, possibly one of our planners, somebody from engineering, so that we can work together on this. We feel like we've had a good working relationship so far, especially on this particular issue. We want to keep this moving forward. We know this is something the township wants, it's something that Heritage wants, and so as long as we can kind of keep progressing and try to get it done as quickly as we can, we appreciate all efforts toward that end. So, in light of the fact that you're expecting comments back in 10 days from some of your other officers, with the board's permission, we'd like to try to continue to schedule one of these informal meetings as soon as possible after you might have some of those comments back, so that we can give you our input and then go from there. So,
I think I would refer to our council over there.
I do just have sort of a technical question. How do we get paid? In other words, it's one thing for us to do the ordinance work, et cetera, for the board. These additional meetings on the side for the developer, do you want the developer to post an escrow, or how's that going to be handled?
They have been in the past posted an escrow if they apply for something like that, Jim, as you know, and have some fees have been picked up by Heritage. I'm not quite sure, Jim, whether or not we should take comments from a developer on our ordinance until we really have it done. And I'm not trying to say you shouldn't have any comments, but it's kind of rare that we pass an ordinance and pass it on to developers, because then if you want it, why not?
sure.
CMB or ABC Holdings also want to put in their so-called changes that they want. So I don't think we should be in that position where we do that, and I'm not trying to, as you know, we'll review it with you.
Right, absolutely. That's all that we ask, is
To
just
do
for
it
an opportunity.
to do it formally, Jim, I think we'd be maybe opening up something we don't want to open up.
Well, my other concern was, you know, in terms of time availability, I'm happy to meet with them if the township feels that's a good idea. But, I mean, I would also just invite them to submit their comments in writing, and we can consider them just like we would consider the comments of any other public person who wanted to submit
I
comments.
kind of hesitate on that because, like I say, if we invite Heritage to do that, why don't we invite Cornerstone to do it? But we have to be very careful.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything legally wrong.
Inviting anyone.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything legally wrong with encouraging our redeveloper, who would be building a lot of this commercial units, to participate in it. But, and on the same token, we always invite, you know, once we have these ordinances to a point where they make sense,
Okay.
we always invite the public to comment on them
Sure.
as well,
Mhm.
as you will do at Township Committee when
Right,
and
that's
if
right.
you ever introduce them.
Right.
So I don't think it necessarily puts us, it doesn't set any precedent that we have to involve everybody who might have an interest. In this instance, the Heritage does serve the special status, so to speak, of it.
And I agree 100% they do. But I just want to make sure we're treading on good grounds when we do something. Do you think it's okay?
My preference actually is that they just submit their comments in writing, but
That'd
I'll
be
do whatever
fine.
the township
Jim,
suggests.
do you have any problem with that?
Well, I think that, well, I can take that back to, and
Sure.
I'll run up the flagpoles, Mary. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and my coming up here to speak wasn't to make a formal request as such, it's just to essentially ask, you know, that we want to continue to be involved, you know, on whatever level that we can to push this along. So, but I appreciate that, and certainly we will put together our written comments, and then I'll talk to them and get back to both of you guys.
Because this, just one last comment, this ordinance just doesn't pertain to the redevelopment zone.
Right.
It pertains to the whole township.
Right.
So,
We're sensitive
make
to
sure
that,
we keep
so-
that in mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, I feel that anyone's comment to this would be beneficial, only because, I mean, I'm saying from Heritage position or Cornerstone or whoever, only because these are people that have experience to find people to occupy these